There we go. Good morning. Welcome to brunch. We have fucking nothing today. There ain't shit going on. So I gotta share a mild annoyance that I have with this morning. Yesterday, my wife and I, we went to the movies. We went to go see Final Destination Bloodlines. She's never seen any of them, though she did enjoy it. I've seen them. Thought it was alright. Wasn't bad. But we have our coffee machine. I got her a fancy espresso machine for Christmas. I thought it being super expensive, like, it would save us money in the long run over Starbucks. And it definitely has, because we don't go to Starbucks anywhere near as much. We've maybe gone maybe 3 times since January. None of these details are important to my mild annoyance, though. Just, spreading out this story since we got nothing to do today. And because it's an espresso machine, not a full-on coffee machine, we'll sometimes make to-go coffee. Like if we're heading to the movies and we're a little bit tired, Saturdays I work all morning, so I'll make a to-go coffee. But I can't put it in a to-go cup. So I have to make it in a mug and then pour the mug into the to-go cup. We have these plastic to-go cups that we bought. And yesterday I went to go make my coffee and I saw the Egnard's mug and I said, no, I got to save that for tomorrow. I always drink out of my Egnard's mug on Sunday mornings. So I took my other mug, my company mug, and I made my coffee in that, and I poured it out. And I just realized this morning that when my wife made her to-go coffee, she used my fucking Egnard's mug. So I know it's a stupid detail. I know it's dumb. I know that I shouldn't be angry in any capacity, and I'm not angry. But I'm also very mildly annoyed that I can't drink out of my Egnard's coffee mug this morning. Good morning to everybody who jumped in very early. Normally, we have to wait a little while till we get these kinds of numbers between the two platforms. We're doing coffee today. I've drank a lot less over the last week. Before we moved into our house. Before we moved into our house, I had this rule that I had instituted successfully for about 8 months, where I only drank on the weekends. I wouldn't even have a beer with dinner on the weekdays, and then the stress of moving and everything, I was just like, oh, I need a beer with dinner. And I've just started doing that again. So I've had a lot less to drink. Yesterday, I had a few drinks. We went to the movies. I enjoyed a few. I'll probably have 1 or 2 today. We just bought this ghost tequila, this ghost pepper tequila my wife likes. So we'll probably make margaritas and hang out outside later today. But right now, it's just coffee. What do we got? Yeah, Daniel, thank you. I appreciate it. And good morning, Nena and Knight. I'm just going to call you Nee. When I have long names, I call you by half your names. Daniel, fuck you, man. I know. I fell in love with that bottle. We were in the store. We were at Total Wine, and I was looking at that bottle, and I literally told my wife, I was like, we need to walk away right now. Because if we do not walk away right now, I will purchase this $200 bottle of alcohol. It just looks so beautiful, and I need it in my life. And she took a picture of it for no reason at all. So I'm hoping that maybe that'll be a Christmas or birthday present in the future. I agree, Mythic. Man, I don't know. I mean, I've got my Mega Man mug, but it's not the same, right? I feel like my Egnard's mug is just part of my thing. Let's see. What do we got? You can call me anytime. I would drink whiskey every night, cut it down to Pepsi, and hoping to cut it to water. Yeah, I'm trying to cut it down to just water during the week. And, you know, I prefer seltzer just because I like the burning. But I've been drinking like a Diet Pepsi, and that's how you know you get old, when you switch from regular Coke or Pepsi. Actually, Diet Coke, not Diet Pepsi. You switch from regular to diet, and you just go, yeah, that's fine. I saw some kind of joke about Daniel in here, but did Hot Hot delete it? No, he didn't. No, he did not. I refuse to believe I was gay and dyslexic, but I was in Daniel. Which is so fucking funny because Dan is the bane of my existence, so I fucking love that. For days like today where nothing's going on, I need to start like inviting guests on so I have somebody to talk. Well, I talk to you guys, but somebody to bounce off of as well. I'll do that for the future, but we have TW going on, and we're obviously losing because we're always losing in TW. But I did notice this yesterday because I was tagged in it, and I don't post on Reddit anymore, but I do. I want to be informed. I want to know what's going on, right? And somebody had posted this. I guess we're playing his guild in TW, and he's just sniping all of my squads. And I don't know why I find that so funny. Oh my god, what the hell are these grumpy ass people? So I, on the one hand, kind of want to try for some reason, but I know it's pointless. It doesn't matter. I think this is like one. I don't know. I maybe my wife slipped me drugs yesterday because I am finding the stupidest things funny this morning. Assembling furniture. I hate assembling furniture, man. We bought something from Ashley Furniture a few months ago, and the best thing was that it came like completely done. We just had to put a couple pegs in, and boom, it was so quick. It was broken, and I had to get them to send out a replacement pieces, so that was a pain in the ass. But it was nice not having to do any major assemblies. But I feel that because when we moved, I had to build so much shit. I actually, last week, I regrouted my kitchen. I've never done that before. I'm not a handyman. I don't know shit about how to fix things at all. But I regrouted my kitchen, and it looks pretty okay. Looks alright. It looks like I regrouted my kitchen, but it looks better than it did. What else we got? What should you use MK3 raid tokens on? So, I have a system, Fred, that works for me. Where is it? Field activity. I always want to have at least 40 keypads. So if I don't have at least 40 keypads, I buy keypads. And then I always want to have 80 impulse detectors. So if I don't have 80 impulse detectors, I buy impulse detectors. And once I have 40 keypads, which I haven't fallen under in a while, thanks to Peridia Patrol and thanks to the Lover Boys in Duel of the Fates. Once I have those two things, I am buying typically Electrium conductors and arrow magnifiers. Right? Like I just buy. Anything. You should never buy heat sinks with, oh, I guess it's not even MK3. But Electrium conductors, I feel like I'm constantly running out of. So I'm constantly buying these. And for those of you who did not have Crankcore for 2 years, and had a ton of arrow magnifiers, I feel you, because my horde has been running out and I've had to buy these pretty consistently. But again, I try to have enough for 2 R9s and enough for 4 R8s or 2 R9s at all times. Yeah, I mean, my grouting job was better than it was, but it was also lazy. So some parts are already cracking because I didn't bother clearing out the cracked old stuff in some parts because I'm an idiot. So I'm sure I'm going to have to redo it again in like 6 months. But now I know how to do it. Now I know what's up. Hey, Cap. What's going on, man? We haven't chatted in a long time. Are you free? Do you want to kill time with me for like an hour or two? I ain't got shit to do. Like, we're just fucking sitting here. Well, right, back to TW. So, I should do more here. I don't have any more low-key Gungan counters that I know of for TW, right? I don't want to like throw GLs at it. So I'm kind of waiting for people in my guild to kill shit so I can maybe hopefully take down a few more walls, but we'll see what that looks like. Owie, yeah, I am a huge proponent on the era battles thing, man. I did the 5-star trick. Well, actually, you don't even have to do the 5-star trick. You just need to get to 58 of 65. I think it's a huge deal that people should. It's a huge deal that people in the end game should be going into. I did it. I don't even know how to fucking mod him. Pimo suggesting speed, but everyone's modding him for health, so I'm just waiting because he's not going to be useful. But the way that I see it is, if you slow farm a character, it takes like 6 months, right? But if you do the era battles, you significantly speed up that time frame. And I think that that's important if you're in the end game and you want to jump on things quickly, and especially if you don't want to do tons of refreshes to get to Jedi Master Mace Windu for his second run, right? So I'm a huge fan, and I think more people will come around to it. I've done a bunch of posts on it. I need to do a Substack post on it too, to kind of get more of that stuff over there. But I think anyone in the end game should be doing the 5-star trick, at least for the first character in an era battle set. Yeah, Cap, I get it, man. I understand. I've worked days like that before, so I get it. We have to do something this summer, though. I know you've dropped yourself down to a filthy casual like myself. But I miss you. Pearl Harbor sucks, and I miss you. Nana, yes. That's why I'm saying if you're in the end game, right? And I think I specifically said that a few times, but I could be wrong. I really need to move my camera over to my second screen. I know, it's my ADD, but because I notice, people have noticed I'm constantly looking over here and not at you guys, but the reality is my chat is over here, so I'm looking at chat, but then I'm talking up here. I gotta change that around. Somebody in school yesterday, not yesterday, 2 days ago, one of my kids in my class, I was playing the ukulele, my fake little stupid pink ukulele. And I was just making up songs about the class while they were working because they weren't doing anything important. And this kid, he goes, "Mr. Egnards, I think you have ADHD." So that's, if a third grader can recognize that, then I probably do have ADHD. I actually did. I did Mon Mothma Luthen. I did that earlier today before I got on. And I think, yes, technically, you know, if we ignore the fact that the first era battle was doubled, because that was clearly a bug, if there are 4 characters, there's less chance of there being any overlap. But with there's 2 characters, you have more chance of them being much higher. So it will help a lot when it comes to like those of us that just cannot afford to get Jedi Mace Windu on the first run. To be able to do that without having to do double or triple refreshes constantly. Hey man, do you know any workaround on mods being deleted after assigning them? You can't delete mods when they're assigned. What do you mean? No, when we were kids, it was just like, you were the weird kid. And I was most definitely one of those weird kids. Why are the zones locked off? Because that's the only way to track battles. Right? So most guilds, they'll track battles based on rogue actions. So like these 2 pieces of shit down here have done 0. They have done literally 0 attacks. Come on, Jedi and Picky. We can see, like, what do I have? 10 attacks. So the rogue actions just helps to track that out for people. After I sign one mod, the other part vanishes. I don't understand what you mean by that, though. What's the other part? I'm invested in this now. Right? Like, I go to mods. Filter by unassigned. What do we mean by the other part? What's the difference between ADHD and ADD? I mean, the H is hyperactive, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're bouncing off the walls. That's really all I can, all that I can give you on that. I'm not an expert on ADD by any means. Not an expert on mental challenges or neurodivergence by any means either. So, you know, anything that I would say on the subject of what one thing is versus another thing would be probably clinically wrong. When you assign the so like if you assign a circle, the arrow that's on that character disappears. Can you like, because I'm really super curious about that. Can you like take a screen cap video and post that to Discord or something? Yeah, Owie. Yeah, I have no idea, man. I would love to see, I would love to see a video of what's going on, because I've never even heard of that before. I also would not listen to Vaanced at all. We have a general rule on our Discord for those of you who don't know Vaanced. The general rule is that you should never listen to Vaanced, and even when he's correct, you should still... It's kind of like Bitcoin, right? So people who invested in Bitcoin early on as a get-rich-quick scheme, they maybe made some, like, a shit ton of money, but it was still a dumb financial move because it was an unproven gamble, right? It was just a gamble. That just happened to pay out, whereas there's a million other gambles that don't pay out. And that's kind of like Vaanced. Even when he's right, I wouldn't believe him, and I would verify it 400 times. Yeah, he didn't. I read about that on Discord, that he didn't have any idea what was going on with the shield generator. I'm like stalling because I want to see this next wall. And once I see this next wall, then we can go into Vaanced account and see what's up on his account. Because I don't want to overcommit anything to these 2 battles. But Owie, yeah. So we do have a rule where you don't have to join TW. If you don't want to join TW, you don't have to. But if you join TW, you have to participate on offense and defense. And life comes up. We do get that sometimes people will pop in and they'll be like, oh my God, like this emergency situation came up. And I do get that. That happens sometimes. Let's go on here. But we do kind of track that, and I do keep, here's the bug. We do keep point of that. We are not a TW guild. So if we win 50%, it's fine. This is a very winnable TW, right? We're pretty evenly matched. So this is the kind of TW where we actually give a shit to some extent. But we also are very good about, like, if it's a cupcake war, nobody's going to give you shit because we're going to win it super easy. Or if it's like against Maw and we're going to lose no matter what, nobody's going to give you shit. But this is a winnable one that we are like pushing messages because it is fairly close-ish. What I would say, I agree. It's not a lot to ask people to do 4 or 5 battles, but this is also the struggle with TW. Now, in the end game where we are, right, you probably have a counter for every wall. But the problem with TW is because everybody plays all one team on one wall, if you're in like a lower guild or a mid-game guild or a mid-high game guild, and your guild is having trouble breaking that front wall, and you don't have a counter to that specific front wall, it can be hard to participate. And that's one of the reasons that I hate TW, because it puts you in an on-call position where you have to be constantly available to break each specific wall as it gets knocked down. And I hate that about this game mode. But it's no different than like TB, where I get pissed off if somebody doesn't deploy Wombat. And you had 24 hours to deploy Wombat. And you tell me, oh my God, I was so fucking busy, Wombat. It takes 60 fucking seconds. Go to the bathroom. Unless you were in like a fucking car crash and you're at the hospital and in a coma, like, it takes 60 seconds. It's not fucking rocket science. We're actually super lax about that. Like, I want you to do your battles, but if you can't for whatever reason, it's gonna be super busy day, just do your fucking deploy. At the very least, do your deploy. I won't even be mad. I promise you. See, that's basically what happens to us. As we start to wake up, we'll break these walls. And again, that's why I'm kind of stalling right now, because I want to see this wall come down. I want to see what the next wall is. I want to know what's going on, if I can throw some of my other GLs at those walls before I move into Vaanced Account. I guess it is after 8, so I can buy this shit. Howie, again, I agree with you, but I also know that you and I are both in the end game, so it's a lot easier to do that. It can be harder to do that in the mid game. In the mid game, you have so many things that you need to work on at the same time. For us, it's a lot easier, but at the same time, because the rewards for TW have not been updated in forever, I personally don't see the purpose in over prioritizing like TW Omicrons. I would much rather have a TB Omicron, because that's a huge quality of life for me to be able to do something super cheap. And one TW Omicron doesn't do shit, right? You need the whole guild to kind of jump behind it. All right, let's see what's going on with Jules here. I want to check out this video. I want to make sure that there's no, like, nothing that can be identifying here. I do not believe that there is. So let's see what's going on in this video. Oh, shit. What's terrible about this video is it also has my voice in it, so we're gonna fucking mute it because I hate hearing my own voice. Let's see what's going on. Pop this over. Sign, confirm. What the fuck? Dude, I have never seen that before. I don't fucking know. I have literally never seen this before. Like, ever. Is the arrow, like, literally just gone? Like, if you go back to that arrow, it's like, it's not in your inventory? God damn. Why do I have, or what does he have? I only have a couple characters favorited. It always happens to me ever since the end of the game. I returned after 5 years. But, like, if you go back to that character, is that arrow there? Like, on the character, and it's just a visual bug? Or, like, is that back in your inventory? Oh, good. Jedi's doing battles now. Or is that back in your inventory? Or is it, like, literally gone? Alright, I'm gonna send that to, I'm gonna send that to Meathead on Monday, on tomorrow. I'm gonna send it to him and just let him, make him aware of that issue, because that's weird, man. I've literally never seen that before. I've never heard of that happening before, at all. So I'm gonna send it to him, and you know, he'll, I guess, pass it along to the team, and he'll say, "Thank you for your feedback." Let's see. Have we stalled enough? Good fleet node to farm. I always try to stay, here's the thing, I always try to stay at like 400 or more on anything in, you know, my scavenger. But typically, where is it? Typically, med packs are a safe bet. I feel like med packs I'm always running out of. I need like an infinite amount of them. I've been, you know, we used to do the polls, but like I'm pretty close to getting all the characters at G13, and they just use so many med packs. Huh. Did you make that thread, or? Interesting. I'm gonna save that thread, because I have never, ever, ever seen this happen before. Interesting. All right, I'm saving that thread. I'm going to send this to him tomorrow and see what's up. What is my recommended farm path? I don't, you know, you would think people would be like, Egnards, you should do an early game guide, right? Like, why haven't you? Why have other people done that? I'm someone who I think is semi-smart, but some of that being smart comes from understanding what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. And I think that there are other people like Darth Loquitur who are just really, really good in the early game, and I try to leave that to them. I do believe that the first thing an account should do is really build out their resource acquisition. I think that that is the most important part of an account. So I do think that Executor is a really solid earlier game farm. I am strongly in the camp of JML and Jabba should be early GL farms, because they provide you so much backing within the assault battles and also modding. I think it can be a slower start to do it that way, but I do believe that it pays much higher dividends. Realistically, I would love to start an early game account myself to like learn the early game more, because I haven't played that in 9 years, but I don't have the time to do it, to invest in an account like that. So I try to stay away from reviews of people that are like under 2 million, because I know that that's not my area of expertise. But I do think a lot of people, they look at things like GAC or they look at things like TB. They look at winning versus looking at setting a foundation. And I think that that's where a lot of people kind of lack, is they don't set a foundation. And I think that that's a lot more important, is setting that foundation, right, of having a good account. Come on, Jedi, so we can do some TW and get over to Vaanced Account and see what's going on over there. Look at this. All right, so we're going to leave that, and thank you, Jules. I'll send it to him, and then he'll say something to me tomorrow, like, you always want to talk about game things. You never want to just chat, and then we'll go back and forth. I love my relationship with Meathead. It's so bipolar. Though he's a great guy. We did the Reddit May the 4th awards contest, and he gave 4 people 5,000 crystals just because I asked him to. So I thought that was pretty fucking awesome of him. You can choose between Leia, LV, or Profundity to unlock quite quickly. The problem lies in my head says Profundity, but my heart says Leia. Why not both? If you're super close to both, I would say Profundity, then Leia. And the reason why is that if you don't need Profundity right now, you can build free shards in the background until Profundity becomes important again. So that's, I think, what I would say, especially if it's not important. Yeah, for me, I'm all about building the back end of an account. I'm about building good foundational habits. I feel like a lot of people want to build a house of cards, and it looks really strong until you realize that you have to spend a ton of money to stay updated, because you're just not able to keep up in terms of resource acquisition. And I think that resource acquisition is more important than anything else. I have a guy that I was talking to, which sounds like I'm dating somebody, but I'm not. And I was telling him how I've never, ever, ever had to farm finishers, because I invested in that really early, the CT1s of assault battles right when they came out. And now I just have tons and tons and tons and tons of them. And so he did that about a year ago, and he came back to me a few months ago and was like, dude, I got to thank you, because I have not had to think about this anymore. Because I'm building this out as I go. Hey, Fire Marshal, I was actually just thinking about you a few days ago. I don't remember why, to be completely honest. But I was. How's your TW going? We unlocked the wall. I'm sure you can guess how ours is going. Oh, we're almost winning now, but this house of fucking cards is gonna fall really soon. You know, Owie, I was listening. I know you, I think, listen to Scoundrels too, and they were talking about the login bug, and they were saying that people who were affected should get compensation. I'm kind of torn. If people who are affected get compensation, I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with it, and I think it would be the right thing for CG to do. But as I understand it, the major component of that was not a CG thing. That was a Google fuck up. So to have it as an expectation, I think is unfair to hold them to that standard. But if they get that compensation, and I do agree with that compensation, I would be happy for it to happen. So if they sweep it under the rug, you know, I'm not mad about it, because it's not, this wasn't their issue. But again, you know, and Graphic is bringing up like being a business. I am a business owner. I understand how these things work, and sometimes you have to do the right thing, even if you weren't the faulty party, and you have to say, "Hey, I'm gonna do this because, you know, it's the right thing to do." So if it happens, not mad about it. If it doesn't happen, I don't think it's something they have to do. They posted several fixes, and there was like a couple things, and they did keep fairly updated on saying, hey, we found some ways around that. So I you know, so I think the whatever happened with iOS was different, and it was on a much smaller scale, Vance. I did hear some people with iOS had issues. I also heard they were much easier to fix. I don't know what the basis of that was, but I do know the Google issue was majorly based on a security update they came up with. There were a few fixes for both issues. I was unaffected, so if they compensate, I will not get compensation. If they do it, again, I'm not mad about it. Talking about me last night, I knew that my ears were itching. Oh, fuck. Well, I can't kill that. I could probably kill this. Yeah. What's this? Oh, wait, no, we need you out. We need Chopper, and we need a something or another. Yeah, but just because you didn't have issues doesn't mean that other people didn't have it, because I didn't have issues either. But I do understand that people were having issues. Get Sith Trooper in there. And Vance, I was on your account multiple times, and I did not have issues, even if you did have issues. Hugsy, I appreciate it. You know, that's kind of what I try to, and in my entire life, I try to, you know, keep an eye on both sides of something going on and understand what's going on rather than be reactive. I'm not always. I definitely fuck that up sometimes, but I really try. It does work in TW, but you need a pre-taunt. You don't have a pre-taunt, it's not working. And really, I wish I had stronger, faster Phoenix. Because as you can see, I got a little fucked there. And that might cost me. Because this is a very slow counter. And it takes forever to do. So we're focusing right now. hoping this armor penetration saves me here. And lets me kill third sister fast enough. Really need Chopper to go before Reva. Come on, Chopper. Oh, come on with the fucking resist. Oh, fuck. Come on, come on. Alright, that might help me out enough. No, not enough. This counter is like a race against time. All right, there we go. Oh, hey, Allie. Good morning. Yeah, I didn't really invest too much in the FDCs, so I don't really have too much of an opinion on them. You know, I bought one. I bought the Zalbar one for 3s. And this next one, I bought the Darkside Ray one. I just don't invest enough into Datacrons where they're just too they're too expensive for me. I don't remember if Gungans can still take this out, but I don't care, and we're gonna find out. I did get a haircut last week. You like it? I needed it. I went in to the place and I was like, I just need literally like just cut it, get it all gone. Howie, I understand that they posted a fix and it didn't work for everybody, and I totally get that, you know, but because it wasn't an issue that they caused, I think that they did what they were expected to do as a company. But again, I do think it would be a good business decision for them to compensate those players. Obviously, I saw somebody in chat say they'd prefer they compensate everybody, not just those affected. But that kind of defeats the purpose, right? Like, because then it's not compensation. It's putting everybody on the same level. It's not putting everybody on the same level. It's kind of like putting those people ahead. Well, the one thing that I said was like, I was like, you can use the buzzer, but I'm not shaving my head. I prefer a scissor cut. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. The fucking Dokukron is gonna put in fucking work and fuck me. Damn. This DC has fucked me so many times in GAC. Like, he's just not fucking dying. Oh my god, this fucking health steal, man. Alright, well, I guess that DC fucking destroys Gungans. What else can I do? Yeah, we're gonna get fucked on this wall if it's all Ahsoka's. We are getting fucked there. What else do we have? This is the Ahsoka wall. This is Great Mothers. And these fuckers. Yeah, we're probably fucked. That's okay. Do they finally take this wall down? No. Alright, they're going for it now. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I've stalled enough. We are going to pop onto Vaanced Account, and I'm gonna get that set up and refill my coffee cup. So I will be right back. We'll see. Vance, you better stay off your account. Don't kick me off, damn it. So we'll be right back, and we will we'll see what's going on with him. There we go. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm not a professional. M3, I did have my vitamin this morning. It was my last one. I have to go to the store today and pick up the renewal on the prescription. One thing that we ran out of on Vaanced Account is crystals. Or not crystals, credits. I actually had a great moment that I wish I captured on camera last week as I'm trying to put Zetas on Jabba, and we literally could not put Zetas on because he didn't have enough crystals to put Zetas on, which was very, very, very funny to me. He can't even do this fucking tier of the Marquis because I can't level this guy up because I need the credits. Which to me is just like the funniest thing in the world. Oh man. Ooh, 6 shards, nice. the fat Phil School of God. I swear, if I didn't know better, I would be like, man, I'm high this morning. because I find everything so fucking funny. I want to do... you better be doing this, Vance, because I've been doing your punishing one. So you better be doing battles on IG 12. M3, take it easy, man. The Fat Phil school of pro streaming. It's just so funny to me. Should we be getting these? Probably not, but I don't care. He needs all this stuff. He doesn't really need MK3 or keypads though. Keypads we can stay away from. Did I get some D from M3? You said you're leaving. Go do something else today. My God. Well, we can't buy mods because we don't have fucking crystals. I've been banned from using these because apparently he knows how to use them better than I do. So we won't use those. I think we were pretty close to having maxed mods. Yeah. But I couldn't sell his mods last time because he doesn't have enough fucking crystals. So that's fun. Like, now I have to do things manually. So that I can do his, like, smuggler's run. And we can have 1.2 million. Fucking Vance, why do you never have credit? You shouldn't have this much of a credits problem. What's his mod score? As of a few days ago, it was 1.38, which is better than it was. Which was much better than it was. We're getting close to doubling his mod score. Okay, all these can be sold. Like, this is ridiculous. I shouldn't have to deal with this shit. Vance, like, come on, man. At least I can do Smuggler's Run 2 now. Galactic Bounties. Do you need any shards of these characters? No. No, no. Okay, so we don't actually... We're going to do this one just because I need it to be 3 stars. It's going to bother me if this is not 3 stars. It'll bother me forever. And I need this Jabba to get to Relics soon so that he can do Smuggler's Run 2. Yeah, but the problem is he doesn't have enough credits either, so I can't even upgrade his mods. I think I get 600k from the regular Smuggler's Run. So that'll give us some. Ba-da-da-da-da. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Dee-dee. Okay. That's the problem, Fire Marshal. He's in a part where I need to upgrade his mods in order to sell his mods. Like, I need to be able to see that they have speed on them or not have speed. Because when we talk about good mods versus bad mods for Vaanced, it's totally different than what I would call good mods versus bad mods. Like, I don't even want to buy him mods today. Sell these because they have only 3 speed on them. But even 4 speed mods are useful to him. Yeah, that's useless. No, I've been banned from using Mark 1 tokens. Oh wait, no, I haven't. Not when it comes to guild activities. Good idea. Good idea. In the store. Let's see. What does he have for arrows? He probably has so many arrows that I haven't even looked at. I think I did a sell arrow filter, actually, for him. But, like, let's see. Accuracy. See, the problem... Well, no. This is shit. We don't need that. We don't need any of these. Crit avoidance. Not on speed. We don't give a shit about crit avoidance on speed. But, like, his crit avoidance arrow... Well, this one's not good. Let's get rid of these. The other ones can stay. Reveal all secondaries. Oh, no speed sell. His filters are very, very light. When does Vance get to... Vance will never set foot on my account. It will never happen. The things that can go wrong if Vance were on my account. He asked me if he paid him $1,000 if he could go on my account, and I said no. I told him absolutely not. Try a TP battle with Phil on Egg's account. Oh God, that's the only way Phil would win. Let's see. Did we get anything decent? Actually, let's just go to Jabba, and we'll go to speed health. See if there's anything, just anything I can put on. Ooh. Okay, I see you, health mod. That is not a bad health mod. What do we want on Jabba? Protection, I think. Health? Okay, people want health on him. But, like, maybe I'll put that protection on if we don't have a health one, because that's better than fucking nothing. Fucking 3. What a shit mod. Oh, God. I think we're just going to put that protection one on him. Unless this hits nicely. No. We can't even sell. Like, this is something that I would sell. On my account. You didn't lose ult mat. How did you lose ult mats? He would destroy... Yeah, Fire Marshal. He would literally destroy my account. We need to... Alright, I couldn't upgrade this yesterday. The interesting thing about doing this for Vance is you have to think of things differently, because there's so many mods that I would not put on my characters that I go, okay, yeah, this will actually work for him. There's so many upgrades that I would not do on my characters. And I go, oh, actually, that'll help. Oh, that actually was stupid because I need a speed mod. But it would help him. Well, let's actually do mods. Like, he is at such a different modding place than I am that you have to think of it from that modding place. Otherwise, he's just not going to have any usable characters for a very long time. Secondary. Fucking can't even reveal his secondaries again. Oh my god. Give a shit, don't give a shit. Should actually have a cell filter for arrows before. Alright, yeah, we're gonna look at that in a second. We'll check that out, but defense, we can get rid of that. Health on a spiel. Let's just see what the arrows we got were. No, we don't need that. We don't need that. Not on a speed set. Not on a speed set. This should help a little bit. Not on a speed set. I mean, I'm hesitant to get rid of this just because for him, I can probably find a use for it. I still don't fucking have enough. Alright, let's just see what we got here. Ooh. Speed? No, fuck you. Why would we get speed? This is what we're using. That'll make his Jabba at least usable, right? For now. At least his Jabba is usable. Sadly, he actually kind of needs the credits from that, so we'll do that. Let's check out the ult tier. Okay, I mean, I guess we don't really know until he's done it enough times. He probably thought that this was the ult tier. I'm gonna be honest. Hey, hot. I like that one. Ooh, we have 70 tickets. Let's do it for him. This was a mistake. I don't want to do this for him. What, Owie, what the fuck, man? That's some fucked up shit, man. Like, if I'm on a guild member's account because they trusted me and I was like, hey, man, can I use your account this week, right? Because, like, I know you're away, but we need your account. I could not even fathom touching their crystals. Like, what kind of monster does that shit? Allie, it says that he has 4 mats, but it doesn't say how many battles he's done. Because there actually is a bug where sometimes you lose an ability mat, surprisingly, but you wouldn't know that until the end, when, you know, you get to it and you don't end up with, like, enough mats. And yes, Vance, the middle ability does work. But I'm actually surprised you were doing this ult tier and winning, because you didn't even have mods, like full mods on the guy. So that is surprising. Okay. So we're at 5 out of the 12 we need. Yeah, man, Owie, it's beside the point. It doesn't fucking matter. It's not your account to play on. It's not your account to use. You shouldn't, you know, like, you shouldn't be touching that shit on people's accounts. Like, that's some fucked up shit. Ashtra, I don't pay attention to events, man. Is your guild not even in TW? Vance, like, did not enough people sign up for TW? Merci. Bravo, Zubi. GG. Who are all these fucking people you're talking to in-game? Well, listen, it's hard enough to find a guild for Vanced, okay? I'm just happy he's in a guild that allows him to coast. Oh, you forgot to sign up. Okay. I was about to say, like, it did say, that it was attack time. And you need to, like, use your shit on stuff. Like, useful stuff. Yeah, I mean, I imagine that he kind of just fucked that up. And you need, for Jabba, you need 12 ult materials, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 12. So he's at 5 now. I don't really have anything else to do on his account other than cry. Let me just see if there's any decent mods that are out here. Sort by speed. Only unassigned mods. I mean, it's not a bad mod. Tenacity, well, tenacity on a cross, an offense cross is probably mostly shit. No, Ali, it's definitely 12. The wiki is wrong. They probably copy and pasted that from other things. Ooh, I have a tenacity thing. Not Gungans. Where's Hut Cartel? We actually have mods on him now. Okay. Do I have mods on the rest of them? What are we missing here? We need to just throw an offense mod on him for now so that he's usable. Okay, we are going to throw this on for now, I think. Health, protect, yeah, we'll throw this on for now. We'll have to fix it later. But it's better than nothing, just so that he has a character. Yes, you are stuck at 39 in fleets right now because your fleet sucks, Vanced. You're actually getting fleet crystals. You're welcome. I did that for you. Just remember that. We need to get you 2 things. Remember what I told you. Right now, we are working on punishing one and getting this. So if I don't do that in a day, make sure you do it. And as I told you before, once we have Jabba at like Relic 7, I need you to go balls to the walls on this ship. In fact, we're even going to upgrade it here. I need you to go full out on this MK6 so that we can do what we need to do for that fleet counter. I don't even, we're just doing it. Yes, and that's the goal. Once we have, oh, Hod, I see it, man. I'm sorry, dude. When I'm in multi-chat, it doesn't upgrade, it doesn't update me to the fact that I have those Twitch redemptions going on. Well, I'm assuming, Ashtra, that Bit Dynasty probably has a video on it, but once it's done, it's going to be like 4 months. But that's our goal. Once Jabba is relicked, our goal is MK6, so that we can get this guy at least, my hope is at least into the rank 20 where he can just sit. Because then we'll get more crystals, and he can spend them on stupid shit. Vanced, I know you need fucking BKM, but once you have Jabba, you still have to fucking shard up these guys. That's gonna take you 3 months. So we don't have to worry about that. You know, so we got you, man. Ashtra, listen. Dude, I get that you have a video, and I appreciate that you have a video, and I'm going to level with you. I hate watching videos. I literally hate watching videos of anything. My guild leader has my Instagram account, and he said to me a week ago, he said, just so you know, I am going to send you reels like all the time. And I literally said back to him, just so you know, I will watch none of them because I don't watch videos. But something about Bit Dynasty is just soothing. And I appreciate that he, like me, makes it as easy as possible to not watch his videos. And I respect that. Well, I usually do Vance stuff not on camera, is what I'm saying. Until I do have a plan to build up some mod materials, like a ton of mod materials, and just do a Vanced episode where I just upgrade mods. Just for the fuck of it. We'll do a couple battles here because we have it. Alright, well, I got nothing else to do on this account, so that means I guess we can go into roster reviews, and since Hod made me drink the rest of whatever I was drinking, I am going to step out to brew myself another coffee, and then pop back on and make a classic Fat Phil mistake, and talk into a, you know, a not hot mic, a cold mic, until you guys are like, hey, you're being a fucking dumb. So we'll be right back. We will get to roster reviews. I don't have that many of them to do today, which is actually kind of nice. And I'll catch up on chat once we get there. So I'll be right back. There we go. All right, look at that. I didn't fuck up like Fat Phil. Let's see what chat is saying before we get into these reviews. A lot of is a little annoying. I honestly I can't comment on Arnold because I don't watch. I don't, and it has nothing to do with him. I'm not into watching things. But Arnold, he's an entertainer. And I don't need to be entertained. So, people love him. He is a great ambassador for the game. The Gungies, obviously, we exclude him because he's just in a league on his own, and he does his own thing, and that's great. Vanced, am I getting him the new clones? Not right now. Eventually we are going to get the new clones for him, but right now he has so many backing things that need to get done, things in the background, that it's just not... Actually, let me go to this until we need to. It's just not on the menu for right now, though I wish he did put more priority towards the marquees for them. That would have been nice. The new clones, or like an Arnold, blah, blah, blah. I know you don't really like mods. What are your thoughts on high offense SOKR over a fast SOKR? Feeling with the whole Cux DS Ray support system, he just needs to hit hard, cycle turns, and go apeshit. Try to speed set versus clones, and he just doesn't hit as expected. Nena, you always ask me hard questions that I'm not going to be great at answering. It's just one of those topics that I concede to smarter people, and the reality is I literally never retouch modding ever. I might put a new mod on a character because it works better in that slot, but I never change the sets on my characters because I don't have the time. People will sit down and they'll say something like, oh, like I spent 4 hours remodding today and changing all these sets around, and I it's a fucking game. I don't have 4 hours to do that. And if you do, awesome. Mad respect. That's you. That's your thing. Cool. And I don't mean you as in you, Nena. I mean you as in just a generic person. I just don't even think about it. I will never remod a character for a Datacron set. I will never remod a character unless something major changes where their sets need to shift significantly. So that's my view there. The key is you saw it on Reddit. Never trust Reddit. Fuck you, man. Come on, all my best stuff was on Reddit. I do appreciate, though, you know what? I want to show this because I appreciate it, and I was going to make a tag on Discord. So before we start with reviews, I want to pull something up that I really did significantly appreciate. That I noticed when I was looking a few days ago. Where is it? Egnars, no, not that one. It was this one right here. So before we get into reviews, I've been on Substack recently, and Substack does have a little bit of a problem. The problem being that there's quite literally no discoverability. You're either on Substack and people know that you exist, or they don't know that you exist. There's no like community. There's no like Google Star Wars Galaxy Heroes and then Egnards pops up. There's no like, hey, we see you like gaming stuff and you might like this. So it makes it hard to build an audience there outside of my Discord, which is where people already know me. And I saw this 2-3 days ago. Someone was asking about that new pack bundle. Somebody had mentioned a video that I did. Bunch of people were like, oh, ha ha ha, ad revenue. Why watch a 10-minute video? That's fine. But then I saw Mr. Mint Green. I don't know if you're here now. I really appreciated this, you know, that call out and just being like, hey, I know he did a video, but also Egnards always does tech stuff. Here it is. That helps. So if you see people asking about pack valuations and you know that I just recently did that one, just shoot the link out and be like, hey, there it is. There's the text. It takes 2 minutes to read. There's the objective thing. I saw that. It made me feel good inside. That people get what I'm trying. Some people get what I'm trying to do sometimes. So Mr. Mint Green, if you're out there, you know, again, I do appreciate that, because I have been refusing to respond to anything, even if it's a direct link to something that I did. I almost feel like, is it Odysseus? Who was it that was at the Battle of Troy and then refused to fight? Was that Achilles? I think that was Achilles. Who felt slighted and just sat there on the sidelines and was like, I know I could win this battle, but I'm gonna refuse. And that's been me recently, knowing that I could link my own stuff, and I haven't been. So thank you. Let's move over to Discord. Let's get these reviews out of the way. Let's see what we got. Roster reviews. We got Gnome up first. Let's pull this up on Discord. See, I knew it. Achilles, right? Which, if Zavor is here, I've been listening to so much of that concept Broadway show that you turned me on to like last year. It has been my vibe in the car recently. Epic. Oh man, that has been a major vibe for me. Let's see. We got Gnome is up first. It is 131.00. I usually finish top 10. Fleet is mostly Executors, Leviathans, 1 Profundity. Are you coordinating? I've reached out a couple of accounts, but haven't been successful in finding anyone. Assault battles look mostly in order. Secrets and Shadows is CT1, that's fine. Duel of the Fates R7. I have a feeling we all know what I'm going to say here. Viridia Patrol, T1. Currently farming Batter Batch for the raid. Too bad, too bad. Can we call them Too Bad, Too Batch? Or like, let's say Target Practice Boogaloo could be their moniker. Currently farming Batter Batch, shooting for R5, finishing up LS Mando team, and I'm trying to squeeze my plethora of unbuilt Conquest characters in my plan. I prefer finishing my farms, moving on to another one, willing to pivot for higher efficiency. 95% efficiency. Are there any favorite characters? Not really. I want to get Bane up and running, just not sure where to fit him in. I mean, you're going to be getting Bane in like 2-3 weeks, right? And he is a one-man wrecking crew. Queen Amidala, she's good. You know, I wouldn't fully prioritize her, to be completely honest, or spend a lot of like resources, but she is very good. Kind of the same thing with Luthen, and we don't really know what's going on with Smee right now, so I have a feeling you're probably not going to be in a position where you want to do that. Let's go over. A million, Iridium 2, rank 15 here, using the Punishing one. I will, again, just kind of stipulate, I am not a fleets person. I don't know the counters, like, off the top of my head, like some other people do. But in terms of those counters, I happen to know, and we were just talking about, there is a Mark 6 counter to Executors. If you have Mark 6 and using it in this fleet, it might be something you want to look into so that you can get into like even just the top 5 more often. Just food for thought as a small thing. I hate the Jedi Master Luke at R9. I really do. I get it. Everybody loves it. It's just not for me. Duel of the Fates. Let's see what these Mandalorians. So maybe you just finished these guys, right? Because it seems like you have them. They're doing fine, and you have Bo-Katan. So maybe that was the last couple of days. Check out Peridia Patrol boys. So in terms of a slow farm on the Peridia Patrol boys, my recommendation to a lot of people is if you just get them all to 5 stars, you can at least benefit from tier 2 of the assault battle, which will help you build up those shards over time. I personally am somebody that believes that they should be semi-prioritized because they're a resource event. But not everybody agrees with me in that regard. I do think that the Lover Boys should just be R9. I like it's a non-negotiable to me. It's something that I think anyone not having them at R9 is a major mistake. You know, again, we're talking about the Lover Boys. It's just such an important thing, I feel like, to have those resources, especially at a part of the game that you're kind of in, where, you know, you're going to have to start like R9ing things for different aspects of the game. 524 guild raids, you're doing about 100 mil. So that means you need about a 2 million score to keep up in your new raid. What is your current score here? You're doing about, seems like roughly the same, but a rough patch on this one right there. Going down the mainly free-to-play route for the new raid, right? So R5 is 1.2 million points. It's hard to tell you to invest further than that because we don't have any raid information yet in terms of like new teams and if there'll be any new or old teams rather, and if there'll be a team that you already have that'll be available. I do think that if you're in a guild that's kind of on the lower end of expectation and you're not wanting to spend a lot of money, the Bad Batch is a good option for that, and R5 is a good early stopping point. Again, really, it's very, very hard to say what your stopping point should be beyond that until we have more information on the raid. We do have Malgus. That's nice. We do have Fury class. I know. You know, my thought on raid info is we got that raid info about 2 weeks before the other raid. And I feel like the longer they wait to give us raid info, the more time we have. So I'm kind of like, take as long as you want to give me raid info. I know that people want news. I get it. I understand that, but I know that once that raid info comes in, we only have like 2 weeks. So I want them to take as long as they possibly can. Oh my God, you're so close to this. Damn, what do you, and gas is the thing holding you back there? I mean, you have Maul to at least do an old Vader team. You have Maul, he just needs to be upgraded. You invest in the new clones at all? The question. Oh, actually, you kind of did a little bit. I feel like, I don't know, I mean, it seems like with the era battle still going on, there's still 4 more here. Not a bad idea to go for the new clones for the raid as well. Just as a slow farm, not even as a, like, major farm. Okay. And what is our expectation here on... What are we doing on Temple Guard? Be like 4 stars, possibly going towards 5 stars. So you're looking at least the second set of Jedi Master Mace Windu. I think what I would suggest for you, you're doing your Mandalorians right now, right? Which is great. It seems like they're finished to me, though. You have... I think what I would be doing right now is I would finish Lord Vader just because you're there. Like, you're literally there. You have him. Which would give you an excuse to build up Maul for now. Because you have, like, 3 to 5 months until you're going to be getting those clones to somewhere, like, super usable. But I would invest in the clones as they come out, even as just, like, a slow farm or a slower farm. I would, personally, I've said this to so many people, I think that it just doesn't make sense not to get fleets. And because you have Malgus and you have Fury class, this is just a really great option for you. Even if you're able to get into the top 10 now and you're like, oh, it doesn't matter, this is as much as I want to do, your fleet arena is going to advance. And it's better to have a fleet before you need it than to need a fleet and be months away from it, because then you can get the free shards over time instead of having to, like, drop 27,000 crystals right off the bat. So if I were to say anything, I would say that right now, seemingly with your Mando completely done, I would continue working on the Bad Batch to R5. It's a good raid goal for you. I would be bringing the Lover Bar boys to R9 as quickly as you possibly can. That's like a personal big thing for me. I would do Lord Vader, just you're there. You probably bought the pack. Who gives a shit? Great, you did. If you didn't, that's fine too. I would at least slow farm the clones as they come out. It'll help your guild in the raid, and it's just a better team for him overall. Than the other team. You can invest in Maul if you want to, if you want a team that'll work right now with him, and then you can always transfer that to Maul DeLoreans later. And then I would put some strong focus towards Leviathan, so that you have all the major fleets. And now someone in chat, it might have been Daniel, I don't remember, I try not to follow chat too closely while I'm doing a roster review, had asked about if I think there's going to be a new fleet this year. I personally don't think so. I think that with Punishing One, they signaled that they want to give each of the major fleets a lifter, and that's them stalling before they add a new fleet in. As far as the new episode structure and how they don't think a new fleet can work, you can absolutely make a new fleet an episode, and we're already seeing with, like, the Temple Guard and the 2 new Jedi, where you're building a whole new team around a conquest unit and 2 new characters plus a journey character. So you can absolutely do like an Andor episode where you have, you know, 2 new ships and Luthen's ship, and then a bunch of Rogue One characters. I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm just saying, like, you can 100% throw ships into into the episode format without any problems. I just don't. I think that they've thrown themselves into an issue with fleet commanders and with capital ships, where they're finding it hard to build off of each ultimate that they've made. And they kind of ran into that same problem years ago with Revan and the Savior mechanic, which just was amazing for so many years. And even like when Jedi Master Luke first came out, you were still using Revan lead. And it became like they had to build all these kits specifically around Revan for that reason. And I think that they're having that same problem with capital ships. And they're going to use lifter units right now to buy them time for that. And I don't think it's a bad idea. You know, I know some people really love ships. I fucking hate them. And I just see us as getting a profundity lifter in the near future. But that's kind of what I would do with your account right now. And the other thing that I would add in, like you kind of signaled and I kind of said, I would at the very least 5-star your Imperial remnants so that you can build free shards until you're ready to commit to them for their event. And that's one that a lot of people do only take to R7 because like the ROI is not as high on it with the inclusion of the Omicrons and with the need for 3 characters. I don't think it's necessary for you specifically to bring them to R7 or to R9, but I do think that people in the end game who don't are fucking idiots. And I will say that. You can quote me, you can clip me, you can post that wherever the fuck you want. I don't care. I think anyone who's like at 12, 13, 14 million, Logan, who did not bring them to R9 is just making a really dumb decision for their account. But that's just me. And what do I know? Oh, man. All right, what else do we got here? Salazar. I think I've done a review for Salazar before. I believe so. Let's see. Put this over to Discord. See what Salazar has to say. I had this idea before we do Salazar's for a fleet back before Hondo even came out. I thought it would be cool because, you know, Hondo's fleet works differently. The way pirates work differently is if Hondo's ship was the capital ship of a new fleet, but the way that Hondo's ship worked was different than other capital ships. Hondo's ship would kind of work more like Jabba, where it would be like a 4th regular ship instead of a capital ship, but it could also use a reinforcement ability. So there would be no big major capital ship, and there would be some like hide mechanics that made it harder to hit him. I always thought that would be interesting is having like a no capital ship kind of fleet. But you know, I don't actually care what they do with fleets because it's a shitty part of the game. The GC shill. I'm the CG shill. It's so funny when people call me a CG shill. My whole vibe is like, I know you spend a ton of money. Let me help you spend less by telling you what the good stuff is and what the bad stuff is to spend money on. Like, oh man, I always go on tangents. I'm all about the tangent, you know, but like, where is it? My slice of bundle pack. This thing. Hey, Ani. This has been divisive. You know, this whole fucking Zeta Mastery pack and the Stellar Signal Countdown pack. Like, there's so many fucking crazy opinions on them, and I'm like, I mean, look at the data, you know? Like, just read the data and see what's going on. I'm not telling people to buy this shit. I'm just saying, hey, look at the value increases and make up your own minds. But people will be people, and they're unable to see things from the perspective of other people, you know? All right, let's stop. Ben, I don't think we're going to get another Grand Marquis for a while. I think that Grand Marquis was just like a bullshit marketing term to give it 2 TW Omicrons. Because you could have 3 characters in one and just call it a Marquis. Like, you don't need to give it some stupid name. 148.00. Hey, man. It's been 10 months since my last review, so I want to see what has changed. Top 20 of your fleet. Permanent rank 13. I could definitely climb to top 10, but I choose not to because I'm very busy with work, and I said it wasn't worth it for me right now. Whenever you get a new capital ship announced, I'll probably go balls deep for it and park at the top 5 for a while. You know, that's... it. I mean, we're going to see. I'm not going to comment on that because everybody's time is their own thing. Everybody's time is their own thing, and I can't comment on that. CT3, CT2, CT2, hoarding mats for raid characters. But I will say, again, I don't really think we're getting another capital ship, so I think you're going to be waiting a long time. What are you currently working on? Hoarding mats for raid characters. Actually have all the Kairos, signal datas to R7, all the BBV2. So again, we're calling them target practice TPB, Target Practice Boogaloo, because that'll piss off Belloc. As soon as I finish farming them, which should be in around 30 to 45 days, after that I'll probably go for Dark Clone Troopers, since R8, since the guild is planning on going for the 260 crate, and it'd be nice to go for LV after. I don't think I'm going for Mace Windu. Are you dead set on continuing with the current farms? These 2 farms for the raid? Yes, I just changed guilds and it's part of our Q3 plan, which I agree with. After that, I'm not really sure. I'm fairly close to LV. Listen, if you are close, I haven't looked at your account yet, but if you're close to LV and you're getting the clones, then yes, you should go for LV. I'm very close to Profundity. I have Gas, Malik, and other cool characters just sitting there. How highly do you value efficiency? Very. Are there any favorite characters you want to prioritize, even though it's probably not smart? I love GL counters that my roster is fairly... I love GL counters now that my roster is fairly big and have some options. They are very fun. Panic, I do roster reviews there. It's on my Discord. I have a sheet I ask people to kind of like fill out so that it's easier for me to do an effective roster review. All right, Salazar, let's see what is up on your account. Going for the 260 box, so 260 box. Look at all these subscriptions coming in. Cool, thank you guys. I normally don't get that many with YouTube doing these things. And don't forget, if it's Prime Sub Day, you send me money for free so I can buy expensive alcohol. Because that fucking Centauri Toki shit looked so good. And I will go out and buy it today. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't care if that place is a half hour away. Let us see. What is our Jabba, Leia, Jedi Master Luke, Rey? I love that you have max rewards on all the important things, by the way. Sith Eternal, Supreme Leader. I just want to see First Order. So I see that your Places of Power is CT2. I am going to tell you, I don't know how to do it because I don't need to do it. But Dark Rey does make CT3 of Places of Power very possible at 3 stars. So just food for thought for the next time that comes around. Sith Eternal. So does Sith Eternal, by the way, but you kind of need a strong tank, and your Malik and Malgus aren't really there yet. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're this close to fucking Lord Vader, you should go for Lord Vader after the raid stuff. Just basically, am I fuck you Bones rant? Oh man, I would love to go on a fuck you Bones rant right now. I'm sure somebody has the 10k points for that. Probably Nena. Nena sits and builds up points just to do that. Yeah, I mean, if you're going for the new clones and you're this close, it'd be dumb not to go for Vader. Profundity, again, I've said this a lot to people. If you don't need a capital ship right now and you're this close, you might as well get the capital ship just because. See, there you go. All right, Nena, right after this review, we're gonna cash in on that. Right after the review, so I don't go completely off track, but because I would love to do this. It's better to go for profundity right now, because even if you don't have the time to climb and you want to, invest in something, you can build out free shards over the next year. You don't even have to spend shards on it. So I would really prioritize this profundity just so you can start getting the free shit out of it. And I'm going to tell you, my conspiracy theory of choice is that Luthen's ship, the Fandor something, is coming and will be a lifter that you're going to want in the very near future. So I would really strongly consider, and you don't have to drop everything you're doing, right? Because you're working on Bad Batch and you already have the signal data, but you're still farming them. This just seems like a quick signal data thing for you. Put a little bit in there and you'll have this literally by the next event. I would really strongly consider doing so. Plus, by the way, I know you don't have the time to invest in fleet climbing right now, but if you invest in the Mark 6, you might find it a lot easier to climb with Executor. Not with Profundity, because it won't be at 7 stars, but with Executor, I know the counter exists. I know that it works. I don't know how easy it is from a time commitment standpoint, because I understand the time commitment point, and my fleet climb happens like as I'm leaving work, so it does get difficult some days. So from that standpoint, I don't know if it'll help. You might want to look into that. I really would like. Do you have this? I don't know if I saw you had Malgus. You have Malgus. You have Fury class. I say this to a lot of people. I said this today. I think it's so important to max out fleets. And I don't know how long the Leviathan will be able to do this. I don't know, if Profundity does get a lifter. I don't know if this will affect that lifter. But right now, I am able to climb because the Leviathan versus Leviathan battle is an auto, right? So when I leave work at night, I turn on my game, I turn on Spotify, I hit fleets, and right in the beginning of the match, if I go first, I hit auto, I plug it into my car, and I drive away. If I don't get the first turn, you play about 30 seconds of the match, you get to your first reinforcement, you send out Scimitar, then you hit auto, I turn on my car, I drive away. It is such an easy thing. And generally, fleet climbing, if you have the new thing or the strongest thing, is so easy that I do feel like you're leaving a lot of shit on the table that can be easily done for you. So what I would suggest you do is unlock Profundity yesterday. Like, get that done literally right now. Continue for the raid. You're going to need about a 5.5 score. So an R7 team is going to be 1.8 million, assuming it runs the same way as the other teams. It's going to be a 1.8 team. Clones R8, so that's going to be a 2.6 team. And then whatever, the old stuff is, you should be in fairly good hands in that way. But anything over what you need to R7 the clones right now, I would be putting towards Profundity and then Leviathan. And I would really be trying to focus on building out your back end for your fleets. Again, even if you cannot climb right now because of time commitments, you really should be putting it in so that you can get free shards, right? The free shards every month, so that you don't have to spend 30,000 shards right away. Lord Vader should be a mid priority for you, just because you are going to be getting the clones, and he's right there. You're so close. Gas team, I mean, Gas is great. He really is, but outside of, you already really have the team, honestly, for Gas. So when you get LV, it's going to give you 2 teams, so that, I don't know, it seems like an easy review, but it's what I would do. It doesn't, like, there's nothing complicated about reviewing you today. I think your plan it's just right there in front of you, and it's just saying, hey, go down this road. Couple of things. One, first of all, Darth Link, congratulations. Lord Vader's fucking awesome. Anyone who says he's a failure is an idiot, Vance. It is disappointing that he's not as defensively viable as he should be with his new team, but it is also 4 marquees. So, like, I get it, but I would wish I got a couple more holds with him. I don't know what my enemies, my bad guys, my opponents are using against him, so I don't know if it's been worth it, but I still like the team. We're going to put Bonez Rant in here right now. Bonez Rant is at exactly 2 hours. All right. Here's my thing about Bonez. I love Bonez to death. I really do. He's a nice guy. When I first started streaming, he helped me out a lot. Before I was on Discord, he helped me out with the notification system on his Discord. He was championing me, talking about me a lot, and I do appreciate that a lot. I don't know what the fuck is going on in this fucker's life. I don't know if you guys have been on the Three Scoundrels. I don't know if you watch the Three Scoundrels, or you listen to it on Spotify. You may not realize these things are going on. But over the last couple of weeks, and I know he's taking a little break to focus on his new job, but over the last couple of weeks, he has been in bumfuck, like Kentucky, Kansas. I think Kansas, because he's a Chiefs fan, shitty front runner, piece of shit. Probably suck Travis Kelce's dick for free. But he's been streaming outside, which is fine. It's great. But there always seems to be, like, drug deals going on in the background of his streams. There are like the stereo, like Honey Boo Boo was on his stream in the background 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. I don't remember when it was, Allie. But it was basically Honey Boo Boo's mom, whatever her name was, just sitting there in the background staring at us. And there was definitely like a meth lab or meth deal. And it was kind of like, if you've ever seen Galaxy Quest, when they land on the planet with the, where they're like, where Alan Rickman goes, miners, not miners. And the aliens are like all like staring over like this. There's like 50 fucking people in his background doing the same thing as if they've never seen a computer before. And I don't know. I just get your shit together, Bones. I hope this I hope this this new job helps him in that regard, because it's just it derails everything. And if he watches or listens to the Three Scoundrels at all, he'll notice that the last episode, when he wasn't on, it was only 2 hours. Like, they got shit done. They actually talked about things. It wasn't just a shit show. It wasn't. I would love to be on Three Scoundrels more if it was only 2 hours. But Bones turns that into a 3.5 to 4 hour monstrosity, because his ADHD has ADHD. And then you get out at midnight, and he doesn't care because he wasn't working. He was like, oh, I'm just going to sleep until noon. But most of us have to fucking work. You know, so he'll ask me to be on, and I'm like, dude, I got like shit to do. I would love to be on from 8:30 to 10:30, but I don't want to be here till 2 in the morning. So I hope he listens to the last episode that they just had. And he realizes, hey, if I'm more focused and I don't rest on the laurels of being a great GAC player because I'm using other people's accounts that don't suck like my account, you know, I think he could get a lot done. But right now, he needs to be on Prozac. So there's my Bones rant. I hope that was worth it, Nena, for 10,000 freebie points of literally no value. Of literally no other value, is what I should say. All right, let's move on. Oh, hey, Bum. Berm, I always look at you and the R and the M are so close, so I want to say bum. So I apologize. Hey, Burn. It's because I'm getting old and I cannot read or write or see shit. Oh, Owie cheated on me to hang out with you. I see what happens there. Yeah, I love Bones. I appreciate, you know, I don't like to be mean to people. I never like to be mean to people. I really, you know, you never know what's going on in somebody's life. And that's kind of the vibe that I give out for people. Is trying to be positive and helpful. But when it comes to friends, I do believe my love language is hate. So the only time I am mean to people is when they're people that I feel that I'm close to. And I do think that he understands that. And that's why I am constantly shitting on Fat Phil. Because he loves a Cleveland steamer. And also because I just love him so much. Let's go. Darth Revanite. I think I did one for you pretty recently, didn't I? I don't know what's going to change. I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 months ago. 206. Let's say 207. So that I can stall a little bit. Yeah, you always beat me to the raid, man, because you stream just slightly earlier than I do. Oh my god. Speaking of Raid, Raid reached out to me to do my, because every streamer gets a, hey, why don't you talk about Raid and we'll pay you. I emailed them back and I asked them, their email said, hey, we love what you do on YouTube and we love your vibe and we think you'd be a great fit. And I asked them to sum up in one sentence what I do on YouTube, and I have not heard back. So I don't think that that's happening, unfortunately. But let's get into this, shall we? Darth Revanite, 50-50, Leviathans and Executors. Yes, I managed to get first place every day. CT3, Fanatical Devotion, CT2, Duel of the Fates. That's killing me at R7. You dead set on continuing. Just finished Profundity. I'm currently working on Leviathan, which should take me about a month and a half to finish. Not sure where I'd go after that, though I believe going after LV and DS clones would make the most sense because of the raid. My DS clones are currently, okay, I appreciate this. So you invested a little into that. That's not going to take too long, especially we got 4 more marquee era battles for them. How highly do you value efficiency? Any favorite characters? Nothing at the moment. Jocasta. I don't know what your plans are with Jedi Master Mace Windu, but Jocasta doesn't seem to be doing super great without him. So, you don't really have to worry too much about her. You'll get her in the next, what do you get, 30 shards? So you'll get them by the time Smee is out. Let's see. Listen, Firm, I'll tell you right now, I don't blame anyone for taking those raid sponsorships. We do the Streamlabs sponsorships, which are a little bit different. And we always do those with a purpose. We always, are looking to fund something, whether it was for my computer, whether it was for charity, which we did 2 of those this year for charity. It was awesome. Whether it is for the Gungis, we're going to do one this summer for the Gungis, but that's a little bit different. No problem with people doing them. I get Raid shoots a lot of money, so do them. Just not my thing. And also, Raid has some of my least favorite game mechanics possible. So I couldn't, in good conscience, promote the game without lying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 of these. We are ships. I think we said something about Leviathan somewhere. Executor, Profundity coming up in the next month. Currently finishing Profundity, working on Leviathan. Let's see what we got going on with the raid. Exiled Warriors. I've seen Call of Dragons on the Streamlabs thing, and I was considering doing a Streamlabs sponsorship with it. Because on those, you don't have to say nice things about it. You just have to not say not nice things. And that I can do. 180. Okay, what are you doing in this current raid? Oh, wait, oh no, I'm on Salazar's. Sorry, Revanite. Here we go. 10.7 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still 6. Executor just got the Profundity. Burns when I PvP. I definitely remember doing this review. 160, and then you are doing 4 million. So LV and DS clones. What are our new batch at? Where the fuck are they? Bad Batch. Why is Bad Batch not here? Am I stupid? Oh, because I'm in ships. So yes, I am stupid. Didn't really prioritize new batch. Here's the thing that I want you to be careful of is you're gonna need about that 5 million score if your guild wants to advance in this raid, which means you're gonna need multiple teams. It's really hard to say what your next team should be because we don't have any info on old teams. But if we have no info on old teams, that team might be Bad Batch, unfortunately. But you haven't really put a lot of priority towards them, which can be iffy. I do have a belief that Inquisitors are going to be a Order 66 faction, but I can't comment based on that. Are you going for Mace? Oh, I mean, maybe you're looking to get maced by second run, or at least hoping to get enough Temple Guard shards to get him. So maybe that's your second team that you're looking at. I do think that the DS clones are a good idea for you as your main priority team with where they are at. Not Leviathan. Lord Vader does make sense. This is, I mean, it's basically the same review that I did for the last guy. Like, Leviathan is, even if you're able to get first every day, it's good to be able to get free shards every month, right? Like, instead of spending 27,000 crystals when you need it, you get it as early as possible, and you just let those free shards kind of like stack in so that you don't have to spend as much when it gets a little bit more iffy. Quantity. Leviathan, super. These are all short-term projects, man. So short. Like, Leviathan, that's going to be done in a month. Lord Vader is going to be done in fucking week. I cannot stress enough to you, though, my dude, like, it's really killing me that you don't have the Lover Boys at R9. I think it's probably, like, the second most, important resource ROI for a player at our level of the game is to have the Lover Boys at R9. So I would strongly consider that. It's hard for me to give you advice on long-term things because I think you're at a point where we need raid info. I don't want the raid info because that means the raid is coming and I won't have time. But we really need to know what those new teams are so that I can tell you whether you have to, like, go for Bad Batch now, or if you already have the amount of score just on the DS clones alone, you know, because if you R8 them, that's like 2.6 million. And if your guild is going to want to advance to the next prize box, you're going to need like 5.5 million. So you're kind of in a weird holding pattern with that. What I think I would suggest to you is right now, get Leviathan done. Get Lord Vader done. Finish your clones. Bring Duel of the Fates to R9. And come back in like a month. Because in a month, we should have all that info. And that will be a good indicator of like, okay, now we're at a point where we know what's going on and we know what we should be doing. So you're kind of like in a little bit of a holding pattern, I think, where it's really hard to commit to a long-term project. I personally, if you can afford to do it, would at least be hedging my bet and slow farming the Bad Batch, just a slow farm, so that in the event that that makes sense as your next team, that you are not so far behind on them. But I really think like you're more of a holding pattern, just focus on the small term stuff until we know a little bit more. With that said, Berm, I don't know if you're aware of our Discord here or if you're on there, but I just did something with our creator area. And for any creators who are, you know, on here, we set up a new system in our content creator area. I call it collaboration mode. And if you react to this, it gives you a tag at collaborator, which basically is kind of like, hey, I'm somebody that's open to like chatting with people, collaborating with people, doing videos with people. You know, and then you can obviously go in here and like use that tag and be like, hey, I'm looking to do a video in the next week. Is anyone interested in doing that? You know, you might, if that's something that interests you. working with other people. I just like talking to people. I'm a fucking whore. I'm a slut. Let's see. What else we got going on here? I'm like crossroad of wanting info to know exactly what units to work on, but also the longer it takes. See, that's what I'm saying, Hugsy. I'm in that position where, like, I have all the old stuff. I'm really only working on the new stuff. The longer it takes them to give me info, the happier I am, because that means that I am able to be caught up a little bit quicker. So I feel what you're saying. In that regard, that's why I'm like, hey, the longer it takes, the happier I am. In terms of R8 material to R9, honestly, this is why Duel of the Fates and Peridia Patrol are so important. They are a secondary faucet to those materials. I so very rarely feel limited by R8 or R9 material. It's R7 and R6 material that we use so much of that I'm like, oh, these take forever. But by the time I get them to R7 to want to R9 them, I have that material from all of the different, you know, aspects of the game that we can utilize. So just something to think about, you know, for the raid. All right, what do we got? Do I do Astra's review today, or do I take a break? You know what, Astra, I think we will do your review today, but I do have to go to the bathroom, so I think we'll do it. I know your review, this is gonna take a while, I feel like, from what I've heard from Cosgul, but I need to pee. I've had a lot of liquid, so give me 2 minutes, and we'll take a look into this, and then we'll see how we're feeling after that. All right, look at that. I always think an account can improve even if it wasn't playing efficiently. Man, I agree. Like, my first 2 years playing this game were super inefficient, free to play. I had no idea what I was doing. I was buying chromium packs for shards, and in my head I was like, oh, I've got these crystals for free. Chromium packs, like, sure, that makes sense. I was not prioritizing Squad Arena at all. I was getting 0 crystals for that. And I know some people are like, what are you talking about? But in the old days, you got up to 500 crystals from Squad Arena. I was not getting fleet crystals at all. Like, I was a super casual, not at all efficient player for about 2 to 2.5 years. And now, you know, I am somebody with, it took a long time, but I am somebody that has, I don't want to say one of the most efficient accounts, but I have one of the more efficient accounts. And people come to me about efficiency because I started to play the game at a level that is different and that I wanted to play at, that I enjoyed playing at. And somehow I evolved from, this game is fun to play while I'm pooping, to, it's going to consume every Sunday morning and I'll never play another video game again, because normally 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Sundays was my video game playing time, and now it's brunch time, right? So I 100% agree with that, but it does take a lot of time. Ashtra, we're going to take a look here. Ashtra, you are a creator yourself as well, I'm aware. You are on our Discord, and I've said this to Ali. You are more than welcome to drop that link into chat if, you know, if there are people looking to find more creators in the game and you know, talk to them. You are happy to do that and do whatever, but let's take a look. Mix of Leviathans and Executors can comfortably climb every day when I want to, which is like, yeah, I get it. Sometimes I mean, I always am in the top 5, but sometimes I'm like, oh, 4 is fine. I don't give a shit. Most of these are CT3. Seekers and Shadows is CT1, maybe? I'm hoping that means like definitely CT1, but maybe higher, not like less than CT1. Lover Boys R9, Pretty Patrol Tier 1. Hoarding ready for any raid information, then getting Jabba's team to R8 and possibly going for a second run unlock for Mace. Efficient, no. I have a feeling that this is an answer to something, but it's just like, no. Efficiency 60-40. None at the moment. Would love to get both Echoes up and running at R9, even though it's a terrible idea. I think that's your favorite character, right? Yeah, I remember you saying that. Look, I got all the Gungans to R9. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do for fun. Shards for important, all but SM33, SME unlocked. You got all this gear. I don't care how much gear you have, that's not important. So many droid brains. Damn. Alright, let's take a look, Ashtra. I don't think I have your account up, so let's just pull that up. Man, I wish you were like 9.999999 million. Kind of annoys me that there's so many 9s in this, but not all of them. Guild is doing 142, so you need about 2.7 million, right, to do good in your raid. 5.5. Oh, Jedi Master Luke. 5.5 million if your guild is looking to increase itself. You are, well, I would call you a freeloader. You're just under the average that your guild needs, I think. If I remember those numbers correctly. 2, 3, 4, 5 GL. Ships, you can climb with just Executor. Okay, what about, do you have Fury though? Huh. Yeah, I figured it was something. Gear trackers. Let's see. Let's check this out. JML. Close to JMK, but like not really super important right now. Didn't see profundity. All right, did you just like get everything you needed for it, or am I an idiot? Oh, there it is. 4 stars. Okay. Leviathan, Leia, Bo-Katan. Let's check this out. Did not invest in new batch. Loan. Got Oppo. It seems like, I mean, you invested a little bit in these guys, so that's nice. This is probably going to end up being your raid team of choice, most likely, honestly, because Oppo's already there, and you've got 4 more era battles. What sucks is none of them are farmable yet, but with the raid information that we currently have, this is going to be your raid team of choice. Going for a second run, Mace Windu. You'll definitely be able to get the clones in time for that. It looks like you're probably doing the 5-star trick with Temple Guard, right? Trying to get him to 5-star. I'm going to be honest. Again, we don't know Mace Windu's kit. We don't know how amazing he's going to be outside of the raid. So I can't comment based on that. I will say that based on what your guild needs from you score-wise, I don't know if I would call that a priority. I feel like you'll meet that score-wise without even having to get Mace. So if that's like a personal thing, that's fine. If you just happen to do it, that's fine. I don't think it's something that you have to like really push, because you have so much else going on. Night Sisters. You're probably doing CT1 on Secrets and Shadows. Your Remnants. Man, when do these guys become farmable? Night Trooper. Okay, so these guys are going to be accelerated fairly soon. That's interesting. That's cool. That's good. I'm going to be honest, man. Like, again, I don't think you need to R9 these guys, but it is important ROI. It is important backing to get these guys to a point where they're like doing something. Like, there's a modding tier. I know you think you're out of the Kyrotech woodworks, but you're really not. Like, this could be gone in 3 days if you really wanted it to be. There's a modding tier. There are relic tiers. Even crystals for mod. Like, I'd really love to see you start slow farming those 3. I would even start slow farming them. I hate when people say wait till they're accelerated. I tell people very rarely that. I'll say wait till they're accelerated, like if it's not a priority, but it's something they should have. I would honestly start slow farming them now. Because there's nothing like crazy going on that you need to be farming. Like, you didn't prioritize Bad Batch, so you don't have to worry about that. I would really have started slow farming them now, and as they become farmable, it's just going to speed you up. Because you're still looking at a couple months, I think it is, till Enoch, right? Because Enoch, I think, was the last one. Open. Close tab. Where is reopen tab? Reopen, close tab. Yeah, 8:15. I think I would start this now as a slow farm. I really would, especially because you're like, hey, I'm in a holding pattern, waiting, for raid information. It just doesn't make any sense not to start it. That's every 2 days of farming now is one day that you're not farming later, and you're at a point right now where you don't have to necessarily worry about anything. These ROI event, like they're just that important, I think. I would definitely be going towards Leviathan. I don't give a shit if you can climb to 1. That's not the point, right? When we talk about like efficiency, part of the point is that you get it before you need it, so you have to spend less resources on it. Don't need it right now? Fucking great. Get free shards every week. And then when you do need it, great. You don't have to spend 14,000 crystals, or you only have to spend 14,000 crystals, not 27,000 crystals, right? That's just something like really, really, really important, I think, to keep in mind for people is always be on top, especially as a creator, man. Fleets are something that people don't understand. And it's not for me. I don't understand them either. I'm terrible at them. But if you're somebody who is producing like counters content, this is prime real estate as well, where being able to be on top of your fleets at all times. Got to get your fucking 30 cents in ad revenue somehow, right? Like that's, I think as a creator, it's important for you. As an account, it's important for you, especially if we're going to see like a profundity lifter or even a Leviathan lifter in the near, not that Leviathan needs a lifter, but I just think that that's the way that they're going. I don't think that Secrets and Shadows past CT1 is super important for you, personally. Like, that's pretty low tier in terms of ROI. So I don't know if that is necessarily something you have to worry about. Again, I said this a bunch today. I feel like if you're going to be getting the clones anyway, if that's going to be your raid team, you might as well get Lord Vader, right? You have the hardest part of that, which is the Bad Batch. These 3 guys are going to give you a team literally on their own. The 501st, which gives you something else to utilize, a nice like A team for GAC. I do understand. I don't think if I had your account, I wouldn't even worry about Mace Windu at all with where my guild is. That's me. I would be prioritizing Peridia Patrol as a slow farm, trying to get that up, not as soon as possible, but at least actively getting it up. I would be going for those clones. You seem to already kind of have that going down the road. I would be going for Lord Vader because you're getting the clones anyway. I just see something. Right? You talk about Echo being like your favorite character, and boom. There you go. He's right here, right? So you bring him up to relics. That's one less thing that you'd need for Lord Vader. And I would honestly be putting some extreme priority, at least towards being able to do the Leviathan event. Because again, when you're in the end game, you need every fleet. It is the longest thing to work on. It is the most boring thing to work on. Everyone's always like TIE Echelon, right? Like, oh, I don't need TIE Echelon because the fucking Finalizer sucks. Right, but you know what? Finalizer might not suck in 6 months, and now you have to take 6 months to farm it. So you might as well start these things before you need them, is my whole spiel with that. And I'll tell you, I've even won some GACs in the recent future because like I screwed up a counter, and it was an easy enough cleanup where I was like, you know what? I can send in Finalizer here and use it, and if it didn't have a usable Finalizer, I wouldn't be in that position. You're also in a weird position where like your Sith ships, these are like Cantina farms, and it sucks to have that many Cantina farms left, right? So like putting a mild, not a lot. I would do it my way, and my way is all of my morning energy goes towards signal data. All of my afternoon energy goes towards whatever my Cantina farm is. And right now for me, that's New Hunter. You know, so I think I expected that your account would give me more of a headache, and I'm happily surprised in that regard, but I just think your priorities are a little skewed, unless you're like, you know what, Jedi Mace Windu is going to be fun, and I just want to do Jedi Mace Windu because he's fun. But then I can't help you with that because I don't know what's fun to you versus what's fun to somebody else. I just know that it's not a priority that I would have if I had your account, because the increase in raid score you would get is not enough to help you to like push your guild over the top. So to me, it makes sense to work on other things now to be prepared for the future. The recent future is tomorrow, right? Well, the two, you know, but again, that's like a fun thing, right? Like I'm telling you what I would do because that's the efficient thing. And if the fun thing is different for you, that's fine. But also keep in mind, between all of the clones and their Chirotech, between like Jedi Master and between Temple, like that's a lot of Chirotech. Like that your horde, which is like 1,000 right now, that's gone. Right? That's gone. It's like that South Park meme. And gone. So you're not as out of the woods as you think you are, unless you are choosing to hold yourself back and increasing your stuff slower than you should be. Is going to be the day I like. Hugsy, you know, that's an interesting. I've never had somebody tell me. Well, anyway, Ashtra, that's what I would do with your account, and you know what you do is your own thing. I've never had somebody give me that thought process on Cantina farms, like a shard minimum, and then doing the rest in signal data. That is one way to look at it. You know, my way is I think they're all valid ways, or whatever works for you. Those finishes are 100 each, and then Jedi Mace Windu is gonna be like 500. Whatever works for you is what works for you, and I, again, having never heard that before, it's an interesting thought that I might bring up in the future to people. Reese's Pieces have no chocolate in them. I didn't know. I don't care. They're delicious. I don't give a shit. Delicious shit. Reese's Pieces are fucking awesome. I will say that every like single time, no matter what. So I don't eat candy because like it's great like ingredients. I eat candy because it's fucking delicious. That's all I got for you. With all that said, we are finishing up for the day. We got chores to do today. Today is a chores day. So we are going to raid into Womprat. If you are on Twitch, if you're on Twitch, drop those Prime subs. Support me for free. That's our motto here. And if you are rich and want to send me $200 so I can buy a delicious bottle of alcohol, well, then you have too much money. Don't do that. I will see you guys next week. We're going into the summer, which I am kind of happy about. Get to do more. We'll do a lot more over the summer during the day. I have an exciting project, hopefully, that I'll be able to talk about next week. Once I have more info on it, once we get like the Jedi Master Windu stuff, it's actually my dream project. If you know anyone knows what my dream project is, Well, yeah, that's it. So we'll raid out, and hope you guys have a great Saturday. Sunday. Oh my god. Sunday. Holy shit. And good luck on Hell Week. Fuck. Hell Week.